We are live on WBRN 103.6, live, YouTube, Rockfin, Apple, Spotify. We are live.
We're live, you idiots. That's what I'm posting. That's what I'm tweeting.
Welcome to everybody on the chat. Willie is drinking his coffee because he's having a rough morning. He should have started drinking his coffee about a half hour ago, but he literally just went and got it.
I'm so tired. I woke up at
What are you, seeding kids for the big tournament this weekend?
No, I woke up at 2 a.m. to start doing rankings because I need to get Fargo rankings done. And first of all, I started yesterday, and 106 took me I ain't even kidding, in more than an hour. Oh, here was because 106. You got to look at 88 pounds. You got to look at 94 pounds. You got to look at 100 pounds. You got to look at 106 pounds. And that's all cadets. And then you have to look at 100 junior and 100 and 106 junior. And it all goes into one weight. And it's a disaster.
It doesn't sound too fun.
No, but I woke up and with the expectation to start working on rankings. And then I noticed that the entries were out for Cadet Worlds. So I typed out a whole thing. I typed every entry that's in, and I researched every kid and put, Euro champ. This year's Euro champ. Last year's returning fifth. Yada yada. A little preview type thing.
Well, it's funny you say that because one of the segments I had an idea for the show today because I know people are getting used to our Monday, Thursday, Monday, Friday shows, and we want to keep doing those. It's just obviously we don't like doing shows when there's no substance. So, we're trying to think of more and more ideas. And one of them I thought would be cool, because this is right up your wheelhouse, is a get to know our Cadet World team. Because a lot of people, that's when people really start paying attention. They make a cadet team, a junior team. Because, again, we've talked about the two things run the wrestling world. One is participation, which is obviously high school, middle school, all that. And then another is the biggest fan base is college. So cadets starts making their way towards, lately we've seen a huge increase on attention around recruiting, and cadets kind of starts that process. So I thought it'd be cool to do a segment where you could just go through the Cadet World team and give maybe a couple golden nuggets about the squad.
Yeah. Well, I mean, off the top of my head, impromptu, our cadet team starts with, and I'm going to go freestyle here, but our cadet team starts with Keegan Bassett, who was a U15 champ last year and Fargo champ at 94 pounds. And then our 48 kilogram guy is Araya Mills, who also won Fargo at 88 pounds last year, but he really went on a tear. He won Fargo at 88 pounds, and then he went and I think he got hurt at Super 32 or something. He didn't do much at Super 32. So I was like, all right, we have to wait till he gets a little bigger, a little better, some yada, yada, yada. But in 3 months, he got up to 106 and whooped everybody at national preps as an 8th grader. Including Justin Farnsworth, who was ranked top 3 at the time and who had won Fargo himself. So you had Araya Mills, which, yes, it's Antonio Mills' brother. You had Araya Mills, who was a Fargo champ at 88, beat Justin Farnsworth, the Fargo champ, at 100 or 106. And then Mills went to Vegas and won the whole thing there. He beat Karen Bauer in the finals? Keegan Bassett beat Deputy in the finals. That was the cadet trials at Vegas. Sammy Sanchez is a really interesting cat because he's a California kid, and the year before his freshman year, which was last year, he goes to Vegas and he wins the trials. And so we didn't see him at Fargo. and he didn't go to Super 32. He won a California state title, but then he goes to Vegas again, and he wins the trials again. He beat Hayden Schwab in the finals. So what I'm getting at is it's kind of weird because Sammy Sanchez, he's a world champion. He's going for his second world title this weekend, and next weekend. But we really haven't gotten a look at him. He's not been at Ironman. He's not been at Super 32. He's not been. He's done as much international wrestling as he's done domestic. So he's our 51 kilogram guy. Gray Burnett is our 55 kilogram guy. Gray Burnett was runner-up at the trials 2 years ago, third last year, and first this year. So he's been knocking on the door 3 straight years of coming close to making the team. This year he gets it done. And that was an interesting bracket. I mean, one of the more interesting things in the rankings realm, I mean, Justin, you watch this. I think most people did that watch the show. But we saw the absolute tear that Villasenor went on at junior trials, right? I mean, he beat this guy. He beat that guy. He made the finals against Anthony Knox and took the first match. Well, he was only 4th at the cadet trials in the bracket with Gray Burnett. Rockland Zinkin was 3rd. He went on and won Fargo last week. And Villasenor didn't even place at Fargo last week. It's insane.
That's wild. I saw you did the article, too, by the way, for those who want to see it. Best wrestlers who did not place at Fargo. That's on Willie's Rockfin. Check that out.
I mean, Villasenor won a cadet world title a couple years ago. He made the junior world team trials finals. He beat Anthony Knox in a match. And he didn't place in Fargo. It's just insane. And that bracket was great. Listen, these were the top 6 at 55 kilograms in Vegas for the cadet trials. These were the top 6. Gray Burnett, who has been top 3 times. Isaiah Chavez from Texas was 2nd. Rockland Zinkin was 3rd. Rockland Zinkin just torched his way to a title at Fargo. Villasenor was 4th. Seamus Regan, who won Fargo 2 years in a row, was 5th. And Miklo Hernandez was 6th, and he won Fargo this year. Absolute bonkers bracket.
Bananas of a bracket.
Yeah, 60 kilograms is Ashton Besmer, Buchanan, California. He was a Fargo runner-up a year ago. He beat Paul Kenny in the finals of cadet trials in Vegas. Arseny Kikinu, crazy story with him. He wrestled 106 last year, and then this year he wrestled 144, and he makes the.
That's a growth spurt.
Yeah, and he makes the world team in both styles. He beat Cassiope in the finals there. Jaden James, probably the biggest star of the team. 2-time Fargo champ, was 3rd at the cadet trials a year ago, 1st this year, and had an excellent junior trials, and he'll be a tough out. I mean, he's among the favorites. Although, 71 kilograms is a difficult weight for us traditionally at cadet worlds. We typically do really well down low. We have a lot of success at heavyweight. I mean, Jordan Wood won a title. Gable Stevenson won titles. Coy Hopke won a title. Michael Mako won a title.
Did Mason win cadet or junior?
Mason.
I thought Paris won was that junior though? Or was that cadet?
Let me look. No, I don't think Paris didn't wrestle.
Oh, he
cadet. Listen how ridiculous. Our
Junior Worlds in 2019, he won.
Okay, so since 2011, that's when Cadet Worlds came back because they didn't have Cadet Worlds for like 12 years or something like that, 13 years. In 2011, first year it came back, Adam Kuhn won it. And then we go 2 years. Then we go 2 years without a placer, but then Jordan Wood takes silver. Gable Stevenson wins gold. Gable Stevenson wins gold. Greg Kirkfleet wins gold. Greg Kirkfleet wins silver. Hunter Kaka is 11th. Jimmy Mullen, silver. Coy Hopke, gold. Stillwell, DMP, Mako, gold. And we have Alex Taylor this year who won Fargo last year. But, yeah, getting back to our difficult spots are always like 65, 71. 65, 71. They're just real tough. Levi, I think, was 7th. Yeah, I mean, that's not. I'm not jinxing Jaden James here, but it just seems like it's a tough weight, right? At senior level, we always struggle at 65, 66 kilograms. What else? Who else is on our team? Aaron Stewart, two-time Fargo champ. Committed to Illinois. He's our 80 kilogram rep. And Tanner Hodgins, who was 3rd at Fargo last year, out of New Jersey. He's our 92. And that was a good field at 92 as well. So hoping for good things. I leave Saturday.
And then you're forgetting one. You're forgetting heavyweight.
Well, we talked about it. That's
yeah.
That's Alex Taylor. He was a Fargo champ last year, committed to ASU. Yeah. So we have a good team. I leave Saturday. Get there Sunday because of the time change. Greco starts Monday, and then it goes women, and then freestyles Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
I can't believe we're already in World Championship season. I can't believe.
I love it. It is. It's such a great switch up. I mean, you get to college season, you're like, this is the best time of year. And then you get to like Big Ten championship season, and you're like, this is the best time of year. You get to Ironman, this is the best time of year. You get to Vegas, this is the best wrestling part of the year. You get to Fargo, you get to World Championships. It's they're remarkably different. So, it's fun. It's fun. What's going on in the chat here?
I can't believe I made it 13 minutes.
I made 13 minutes without checking the chat. Keith is in here. Jason Bryant's in here. Hey, Jason Bryant, are you going to juniors? You going to juniors? Juniors are in Croatia, I believe. Juniors in Croatia.
Where does Jason not go?
Oh, he's not going to cadets.
That's probably a shorter answer, though. Where the places he doesn't go. Cadet Worlds, Tim Fish, are in Greece next week. And then juniors are in Croatia, correct?
Let me see. Jason, you are going to juniors. Awesome. Cadets are in Greece next week. Juniors.
Bulgaria.
No, Serbia. Novi Sad, Serbia.
What?
See,
juniors are in Bulgaria.
Are we sure about that?
Yeah.
What's in Serbia?
The Lubda Umba Ivanok Jedzi Memorial.
U20s are in Bulgaria? Why did I think it was in Serbia? What's in Novi Sad, Serbia? Maybe that's next. I don't know. Whatever. I'm proud of myself that I got flight and hotel travel booked for Greece like 5 weeks out. That is a personal record.
Yeah, that's very impressive. You deserve all the kudos.
That's a record for me. Keith Gothard's going to RAF. Justin Basch will be there.
Yeah. I'm planning on going. I still got to finalize the details because we have a huge party that Monday at the house.
Stop.
But as of now, the plan is to be there.
You could literally have your wife put the stuff on a trigger and control it from your remote, from your phone.
And I bought this thing for my truck called a Magic Box. No free shout outs here on the show, but this thing, Magic Box, you plug it into like the USB port and you can watch live TV in your car. So my thought is, if I drive from Rochester to Ohio on August 30th, which is week 1 of college football, I can watch
7 accidents.
I can watch Ohio State versus Texas. Have it on. You're not like watching it. You're not like staring at it, but it's on. It's on in the background as you drive.
Oh, that sounds like an accident waiting to happen.
Ohio State, Texas is at noon. Big noon kickoff, August 30th.
Nice. Yeah, it's crazy. There's so many things kind of like, I don't want to say working against RAF, but like that particular date, right? That particular date is really tough. I don't know. There's so many things. Like there's a lot of complaints. It's like, why are you?
Well, you want to dive into a little real American talk?
Sure. But it's like people are like, why are you having it at Cleveland State when they just gutted the program and they don't deserve to host an event? Well, the contract was signed when we were trying to save it. It looked like it could be saved. There was state senators introducing stuff to the state legislature, to try to get a stay, and it didn't work out. But we had already put in to try to help, right? And now it goes the other way. We're trying to do a good thing, and now it looks like we're tone deaf. But what are you gonna do? It's a great arena. I did a walkthrough of it a couple weeks ago, and it's a great wrestling area. Cleveland's awesome for wrestling. But yeah, so you got that. You got a lot of people a little reluctant because it's the first time we're having a card and they don't know what to expect. And then you got a lot of guys that are like, and believe me, I've called them myself. It's like, man, I really want to do it, but I got to wait till after Worlds. I don't want to get injured before World Championships, which is totally sensible, right? I get it. Plus, there's like Ohio State, Texas. There's monster football weekend. I saw somebody tweet it the other day about how much great stuff there is on that day.
Well, Labor Day weekend, historically, I mean, you have week 1 of college football. You have everything. It's going to be a good weekend. Let's talk, while we're talking Real American, so two kind of golden nuggets came out this weekend about it. One is that you guys officially announced it's streaming on Fox Nation. 2 is that Bischoff was on Ariel Helwani's show and said that he wants to – the plan is to do 2 events this year, and then monthly is the goal next year.
Yeah. I'm pretty certain there's going to be one in October.
Yeah, that's what you're saying.
So there's definitely another one coming up. But there might be 2 this year. 2 more. So I don't know, but what I do know that, like, for the second card, everybody wants to be on the second card. Everybody's like, hold up, I gotta wait till after Worlds, and everybody wants to be on the second card. So, we have some. I particularly like to see Lance Palmer wrestle. I particularly would like to see Darian Caldwell wrestle. Now, I know in the wrestling purists' minds, like, well, they've been out of the game. They ain't the best. This isn't for a championship. No, like, but somebody else can come and take it then, right? You have to start somewhere, and this is what we're starting with, and we do have good guys on the card. I mean, Kennedy Blades is a killer. Kyle Dake's a killer. Yanni Dakamahalis is a killer. So, Gomez is a world teamer. Real Woods is a world teamer. So, we're starting here, and I expect the competition level to pick up going forward, and it's going to be based like UFC style, right? You want to, I mean, not UFC style, UFC structure. You want the title, come and take it. And if you want the title and you're down here, you can work your way up and work your way up the totem pole and try to take that title. So there should be a lot of more international guys too, on future cards. That was certainly an issue with the, especially international guys with the world championships, and a lot of contract stuff to figure out.
Yeah, we were talking some contract nuggets yesterday. I don't know how much of that you want to talk about on here, but
no, not much. Not much. I'm not getting into the weeds at this point. What else about RIF? Yeah, it's on Fox Nation, and I know that most people balk at like, oh, I got Flow, oh, I got Intermat, and I got Track Wrestling, and I pay for this and I pay for that, and now I have to pay for another one. Dude, I know, totally understand it. That being said, I think it's like $5.
Yeah, it's $5 if you sign up for an annual subscription. It's $5 a month. If you just want the month, it's $8.
$8, right? So it's not real steep.
Yeah, and I get it too. Like, I think it sounds worse than it is. Like, oh, I need to have 7 different streaming services. I don't look at it like that because I already have a million streaming services. I look at it like it's $8 for a couple hours of good wrestling. But it's worth it.
Yeah, I mean, I have a gazillion subscriptions, and when there's a good UFC card, I'm like, I gotta pay $150. Gotta do it. I'm interested in it. I want to watch it.
Nick Costco said that there must be a million. Nick said that Ohio State, Texas is going to be one of the most viewed college football games of the season. I agree. And I said it's already circled on my calendar, which is in my head. And he said that they must be loaded with events. You have to, Nick, because the challenge is when it comes to fall and scheduling things, I don't want to get trapped. All of a sudden, you'll be like, I really want to watch this. And then somebody's like, hey, can you do this on this day? You're like, sure, 2 months, sign me up. Then all of a sudden, like that week comes along and you're looking forward to something. Like, you got to have key sporting dates in mind. You got to.
I'm the worst with it. I'm the worst. People ask me to do things. I'm like, yeah, let's do it. And then like that week, I'm like, yeah, I can't do that. I got to this is happening.
I know. So I try to do as much prep as I can with like, no, hey, this is on the calendar. Hey, I really want this. But I am going to try to make it to RAF 01.
You're gonna make it. I'm excited about the production of it. I think. Yeah. Did you watch the USA Russia match? I thought that was pretty well produced.
That was awesome. Yeah. We can talk about that because not just from a production standpoint, but the actual event. But I thought the production was great. I thought it was clear and it was high res, which is always important. Everybody was very clear. All the camera, like it was a good watching it. It helps that it was free. Like I don't think it's. There were some people that were like crying about like they were calling out Flo and this person, that person. Like, see, this is how you do it. You do it for free. Like you can't pay the athletes and do it for free. This is an anomaly one-off.
I was surprised. I didn't even know.
Well, PFL typically does like half their events for free, and then I think they do like. They kind of do the UFC model where like the undercard's free and then you have the paid card. You have a pay-per-view model. So they sometimes do free events, and I think that I'm guessing that was one of the when they were making the deal, like, hey, this has got to be free. Like we can't call it Wrestling for Peace, USA Russia, and then charge for it.
How do they make any money on it though? I mean, that was the one thing you couldn't see. You could, and I don't mean what. Let me be clear. I'm not suggesting that everybody has to make everybody has to rake you over the coals to make a buck. That's not what I'm saying. But you can't operate at a loss. You can't operate at a loss.
Oh, I know where you're going with that. I know where you're going with that.
No, wow.
Get your T-shirt out.
I don't know where. Oh, Caitlin Clark. No, I'm just saying, if you're PWL or any organization, Flow Wrestling, just like you said, people were saying, see, Flow, that's how you do it. You make it free. If you don't have any income, if Flow doesn't have any income from the streams, guess what? Flow is going to do less streams. So what I'm getting at is, how does PWL put on events for free and continue to perpetuate, can continue to...
Well, because they're mixing those in with pay-per-views, so I'm assuming the pay-per-views generate enough revenue that it then offsets the free ones. That would be my guess. But I thought it was a great event, obviously. So Russia won 6-4.
Cool.
Listen, it was free wrestling on a Monday. It's hard to complain about that. Obviously, like if we're in a duel with Russia, like, we want to send our number ones, of course. Like, we want Russia to send their number ones. But again, this was free wrestling on a Monday at 1. Take it for what it's worth. It was a great duel.
That's another thing I balk at. With wrestling fans. Like,
are you going to do a Willie voice right now? Somewhere Wrestling SNL wants you to do a voice.
Look, that's Brandon Wimbush. He's the chief of staff at RAF. He was also the quarterback of Notre Dame. I'm friends with the ex-quarterback of Notre Dame. He was like a big deal. He was like a 5-star recruit. Anyway, where was I going with it? What were we talking about?
You were balking at American fans wanting our number ones.
American fans. It's like, if you don't put out Gable Stevenson against Wyatt Hendrickson, and it's any other combination of guys, if it's Wyatt Hendrickson against Matt Stencil, or Gable Stevenson against, I don't know, Nathan Taylor of Lehigh, then there's like, oh, this is stupid. This isn't worth it. This is a bad matchup. Like, American wrestling fans, they contradict themselves, because they like, if it's not the biggest, baddest number 1 on the planet versus number 2 on the planet, number 1 in the country versus number 2 in the country, they scoff at it. But the same dudes will watch the Browns at the Dolphins on a Thursday night. We'll watch every second of it. Okay. So, listen, we didn't have some of our ones. Russia didn't have some of their ones. It was still fun. It was still great.
Free wrestling on a Monday at 1. You can't beat it. And some of our guys got some great wins. I thought Hamidi looked great. Mike Mock looked good. Jay Aiello looked good. So I thought some of our guys looked good. Lilidol lost, but I thought he wrestled a great match.
Dean looked great.
He did.
Dean looked great. Luke was fine. Luke was fine. That freaking guy, he got me at first on Twitter. That Russian. he said, wow, whatever the Russian's name.
He said Lilidol got dominated.
Wow, he dominated Lilidol, and he just came off his couch. And I was like, yo, I'm going to punch this dude. And then I was like, all right, Willie, he got you, because he's obviously trolling. I mean, because Luke gave up a takedown. Luke was winning with 12 seconds to go. So he got me. I admit. But yeah, so let's, and that's the thing too about when you poo-poo on matchups and you only tune in if it's 1 versus 2. I mean, it's just not a great ecosystem that way, right? You gotta. I mean, I shouldn't put everybody in the same category, because there's a core of us. There's a good core of wrestling fans that will watch Lockhaven versus Brown, right? If that's on a Wednesday, I'm watching it. I mean, that's what I do. That's what us purists do. But you have to support the sport. You have to really be a hardcore fan and watch everything, I think. And that sort of kind of segues into this. My criticism, actually, it's not my criticism. It was a lot of people's criticism of what Caitlin Clark and the NBA did. And I tweeted a picture of Caitlin Clark with the T-shirt on, but I wasn't criticizing Caitlin Clark because I feel like she was kind of bullied into that. I mean, frankly, it's hard to not go along with the movement when you're the face of the movement. But the bottom line is this. The WNBA has been losing money since its inception. It's been wholly subsidized. So it loses millions. Like the average loss was 10 million. And this year, despite record numbers of attendance, despite record numbers of TV ratings, everything's up except in their net profit loss. They lost 40 million. Okay, but at the same time, because the numbers are up, that otherwise, not the revenue, but the ratings and the attendance, because they're up, they signed a very much like a 4X deal for the broadcast rights. And because they did that, all the WNBA players at the All-Star game wore shirts that said, "Pay us what you owe us." Like, what are you owed? What are you owed? Why does anybody owe you anything? And I mean, you signed a contract. You knew what you were making. You played for that money. Now you're preemptively. I mean, the messaging's mixed up, right? Because there's a new contract coming, which means you can renegotiate when that new contract kicks in. What you can't do is say, "Hey, I'm supposed to have back pay." That's what "owe" means. That's what the word "owe" means on your shirt. That means you owe me. I deserve something for what happened before. What happened before was you lost your ass. Your league lost their ass. They were on welfare.
For the fans in the chat who tuned into a wrestling podcast and not a basketball podcast, because we were talking about this with like Larry Steele, we're getting a Willie WNBA chat. He does have a wrestling tie-in, which he has not illustrated yet.
It's late July, guys. It's late July.
Well, we just said we're not going to do a show. There's not enough substance. A half hour in Willie's ranting about the WNBA.
There is a tie-in. There's two tie-ins to it, really.
Well, this started because we were talking about Penn getting $20 million, which is amazing.
Okay, so there's two tie-ins. One, the liberal soy boys in the responses, some of them were trying to justify the T-shirt. Listen, I'm not saying they shouldn't make more money in the future. I'm saying they ain't owed shit. They ain't owed back pay for what? For losing money? They're owed. They should be paid more for losing money. They lost money. Okay, number one. So I'm not saying that they shouldn't. They got more money in upcoming deals. They'll get more money upcoming. Okay. But then one of the soy flakes said, I just made that up just now. I like it. It's gonna stick. Infa's in the chat, and I just realized something about Infa, who tweets all day about Russia and Dagestan and Ossetia and the Caucasus regions. I think he's an American. I don't think he's from
Infa, can you dox yourself, Infa?
Dox yourself. So So anyway, one of the soy flakes says, Willie, I don't think you want to go there being a supporter of wrestling, which I know exactly what you mean, but I know exactly what you mean. And I was waiting for that to come up. And I'll be the first to admit, I shouldn't even say I should be the first to admit. I've been doing wrestling talk shows for 10 years and been around the sport probably almost 10 years before that. I have said, I was the first person to say that wrestling, I said it 3 times this summer on shows. Wrestling relies on charity. Wrestling relies on charity. You can't have a solid foundation when your model and your business practice is to work on handouts. All right? So don't sit there and say that I'm contradicting myself, because I said this long before you. 15 years ago, I said you better endow your program. The number one job of any coach is endow your program. From Oregon State to Cal State Bakersfield to Brown to NC State and everywhere in between. Endow your freaking program. And number one. So that's the first point to that response. Number two, things like RAF and other leagues, should they be successful, are trying to change that ecosystem. They're trying to allow a path for athletes to make money. For not even athletes, wrestlers. And so you should hope that it's successful. And guys like Bo Nickel and Darian Caldwell and who the hell else knows? Henry Cejudo, maybe? Who else recently? Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle said it. If there was a pro wrestling league, if there was a viable pro wrestling league on solid foundation that they could make good money, make a living at it, they probably wouldn't have went in other directions. And that's why you should support it. Because wrestling lives on charity. There is nothing in the sport of wrestling that makes money. Now, how can you have that? Iowa wrestling. Go look at Iowa. Their stadium's full every time. The arena's full every time. Penn State. Arena's full every time. You ever look at their ledger? Because they lose money, guys. So either be about it and try to get something going.
Which that's the reason I wanted to talk about Penn, because that is so significant for Penn that they got $20 million as part of this big $34 million fundraising effort to both endow the program, get new facilities. That to the point of what you've been preaching about, that they're doing exactly that. And a $20 million gift is massive.
Every program should. And it's a massive get for Penn. And frankly, it's a massive get for a lot of institutions. And I'll tell you why. Because maybe there's a guy at Columbia, maybe there's a guy at Cornell, maybe there's a guy at Lehigh, maybe there's a guy at Princeton. And they make bank. They're paid. They got billions. And they see somebody donate that amount of money to ensure their alumni, their school, their program. It makes the guy at Princeton, it makes the guy at Lehigh say, you know what, I got to do something too. I'm going to do something too. Right? So it's good, and it should be promoted. And that message should get out. And that guy, David Pottruck, who was the CEO of Charles Schwab for a while, I mean, he's done a lot. He's donated millions to Penn several occasions. He donated a bunch for USA Women's, uh, you know, in Colorado Springs and different women's programs. Um, so he's done a lot. He deserves to be commended for his support of wrestling. And there's been some others too that didn't get as much flash, as much pub. But I mean, they weren't 20 million. But Bucknell got a big chunk of change from some donors. Franklin Marshall did so good that now they actually have scholarships or equivalents of scholarships. So wrestling supporters are starting to get it, and the people that are fortunate to have a big bank account know how critical it is to support the programs they love.
Yeah, for sure. The facilities look awesome too. The renderings that Penn shared out, I don't know if you saw them, but they look awesome.
No, he didn't. Nomad tweeted that $20 million donated to Penn is a waste of funds. Is that like his go-to thing? Is like calling everything a waste of fun? Nomad tried to say that instead of RAF, that the corporation should have just take all the money that was allocated and distribute it to high school programs.
I don't think Nomad tweeted that, but
Nomad tweeted what?
I don't think he tweeted that the 20 million donated is a waste of funds.
Oh. Yeah, Taylor Venus brings up a good point. I fully expect Chad Richardson won't stop until USA Wrestling is based in Oklahoma. There's pros and cons to that, right? The pro is that Chad Richardson wants the Oklahoma teams to be really good, and he has a seemingly endless pile of cash to try to make that happen. And so you're looking at it and you're like, well, now there's haves and have-nots. The alternative is you don't want anybody caring about it. I mean, listen. If David Pottruck was an alumni of Penn State, and yesterday they announced that David Pottruck donated $20 million to Penn State wrestling, everybody would be crying. Everybody that it was Penn. Oh, great! That's great for wrestling. If it was Penn State, totally they'd be crying. They'd be crying. Oh, they're just gonna keep winning in perpetuity. This is terrible for the sport. And so, it's good if Penn gets funding. It's bad if Penn State gets funding. It's good if Oklahoma gets funding. It's bad if Oklahoma State gets funding. Hey, I appreciate every nickel that people put in for. I'm not saying that it's a business model. I just got done explaining that it's not a business model. I think personally, and I think this is a little bit where Nomad kind of gets it right, but that high school take was all time stupid. But there is sort of sometimes these people with a lot of money don't do the appropriate things that they could. Like for instance, Titan Mercury, selfless people, right? They have given so much funding and so much opportunity to so many wrestlers, from women to Greco to men's freestyle, and it's awesome and it's great. But there's no perpetuity to it. You know what I mean? I at some point, I wish people came together and pooled their resources to say, let's visit this system. Let's examine a system whereby it's revenue generating. And that is the difference between wrestling constantly needing to be saved, they constantly needing a life raft, and wrestling having funding to have a long runway. Now, don't get me wrong, I'm not ungrateful, but that's the thing with RAF. It's like, if it works, it could be a game changer for wrestling. If it pops, if it, and I'm not saying it's written in stone. I'm saying I'm trying to. You should be rooting for it, because if it pops, if it goes from Fox Nation to Fox to pay-per-view, if that happens, and wrestling gets its love, and the wrestlers get their payday, and they become pros, and on Sunday mornings in May, Jordan Burroughs is wrestling Adam Satiev, and Jax Forrest is 7 years old, and he's sitting on the couch and he's watching that. And then there's 100 Jack Forrest. There's 1,000 Jack Forrest. There's 1,000,000 Jack Forrest, and they all want to become something. It creates an ecosystem. It gives wrestling the spotlight, and wrestlers can get paid. Let's look at the chat. RAF doing well is good for all of wrestling, even outside the States. Well, I mean, yeah, 100%. I mean, first of all, I know it's early, and I very clearly understand. I have a meeting in 2 hours with RAF guys. I called the meeting, and because I said we need to get our messaging buttoned up, and we need to do a better job disseminating information, and particularly on social media. And I know it's tough early on to really suss out what RAF is, what its vision is, what it's going to be. But when you say it's going to do well for wrestling even outside the States, I mean, we got Bajrang on the card this time. Card 1, you got Bajrang. And he's a big deal in India. He's a big deal. And, I don't know if you guys think that RAF is going to be this thing where it's tier 5 and tier 6 and tier 7 guys and retreads, but that's not what it's going to be. There's going to be superstars from Mongolia to France. We're going to get international guys, and soon. So yeah, the design is endless. I mean, we're shooting for the stars. Will it happen? We're going to try our best to make it happen. That's another thing too. I saw somebody, like a really good Twitter guy. What's his name? Justin Safir. He's an Iranian
dude, yeah.
And he said he was watching the ranking series. Well, he tweeted this while the ranking series was going on, and he said, he's like, damn, these events, these UWW events, you can hear a pin drop in there. There's nobody in there. And it's just a shame. right? These are the best. These are the best wrestlers in the world, and they attract nobody. Even world championships, a lot of them aren't super well attended at all. Watch, I'll go to Athens, Greece, and you know who'll be there? Like about 100 parents, about 150 parents. It's world championships.
R. Smith just asked that in the chat. Does UWW make money, or are they broke also? The seats always look empty at their events.
Well, here's the thing. You know, I don't know as much about UWW's model as I do about USA Wrestling's. But, you know, here's the first things first. First things first, and back to the Caitlin Clark thing and the WNBA. Pay us what you owe us. Did you ever come to think, like, all the wrestlers that are in there, they don't get paid by UWW? A couple peanuts, and that just started like 10 years ago, 5 years ago. All right, they're doing it for the love of the game, right? You know, people have this really twisted in the last like 15 years. People have this really distorted, bastardized version of sports. You know, sports started out as something to do at school during recess, and then it turned into competitions between schools, and then colleges. And you wanted to, who's gonna win, Yale or Holy Cross? And hey, our football team could beat your football team.
It was for the love of the game, Willie.
And then they started these pro leagues. They started basketball and football and baseball. And guys played it for the love of the game and not a lot of money. And over time, this concept got bastardized and all twisted and contorted. And then, like, because at some point, like, I don't know, University of Illinois said, hey, I'll tell you what, there's a really good quarterback from there's a really good quarterback at this high school over here in Champaign. You know what we should do? Because we really want to beat Northwestern next year. We should tell him if he comes over here, if he comes to our school, he doesn't even have to pay tuition. Right? And then it became the norm. And now, 60 years later, 100 years later, a scholarship isn't enough. Training isn't enough. Travel isn't enough. The best food isn't enough. The best coaching isn't enough. It's pay me my money. Pay me my money.
Pay me what you owe me.
Everybody lost sight of what athletics really is, and that's the pursuit of the best version of yourself. That is the pursuit of trying to be the best that you can be. And really, it's a hobby. But, like, everybody wants their cut of the pie. And I get it. I get it if the league itself is making boatloads of cash. Now, I don't think that UWW is making boatloads of cash. I don't think that Nanad Lalovic and his staff is just stuffing their bank accounts full of money. I hope that they make incremental improvements to increase revenue, and then it trickles down, and that the pay for wrestlers go up. And it's almost the same model. The UWW makes money off their membership, guys. They're making money off their membership. They're making money off those their membership and their sponsors. And everybody complained when they said they're going UWW Plus and putting things behind a paywall. Good for them. Good for them. They should. You can't expect, hey, give me a product for free. I'm going to watch from home. I'm not going to spend a nickel. I'm not coming to the event. I'm only watching the stream if it's free. Also, you better put on a good product. You better put on a good show. Yeah? For free? For free? That's Johnny Fan in Chechnya, right?
Johnny Fan.
And
Is Johnny Fan a soy flake?
no, he just never thought about economics. USA Wrestling's much the same way. USA Wrestling, what's their revenue stream? What's USA Wrestling's revenue stream? Membership cards. Make no mistake about it. It's membership cards. They make money from membership cards and entry fees. And their expenditures are running events and their salaries. I mean, when you're giving Kyle Snyder $1,500 a month, when you're giving Jordan Burroughs $1,500 a month, I mean, come on. That is why pro leagues are important. And I've had brief conversations with the guys at UWW, and thankfully, it's really funny because it's very apparent to me that USA Wrestling sees UWW as USA Wrestling sees RAF as a threat. USA Wrestling right now, they're concerned about RAF. Whereas UWW, the tone from them is, this is great. This is going to give the sport more exposure. Two very conflicting reactions. Two very different reactions.
Infa says UW has done a great job of making it look good, and their social media game is improved. They've done an awesome job over the last couple of years of improving that. They've crushed that.
Incredible job.
Yeah.
I mean, as much as I fought with them, I used to go round and round with TR Foley, but it was right around the time with Gordon Templeman, and Gordon Templeman's still there. But when Gordon Templeman and TR Foley got into UWW, a lot of good stuff happened. Now TR Foley left, and Eric Olanowski has kind of taken the reins there. But man, night and day from where it was 15 years ago. Night and day. Why does Bender make a ridiculous amount per year? I mean, I am not opposed. Rich Bender, USA Wrestling also has done a tremendous job, tremendous growth under Rich Bender. Rich does a great job. But you bring up a good point, and I've mentioned it before. Iowa, Oklahoma State, it doesn't matter from where they came from. Penn State. They house and feed and train and pay. Penn State pays Kyle Dake to train. Penn State pays Kyle Snyder to train. They pay David Taylor. They pay all these guys. They pay. And when USA Wrestling takes silver at Worlds as a team, who gets the bonus? Bill Zadek and Rich Bender and Les Gutches and all the senior members at USA Wrestling. You tell me, does that make sense? Jason Bryant said, compare Rich's salary to other presidents or CEOs of national governing bodies. Right. Listen, I don't want this salary to be crap. Rich Bender, I, money keeps talent. Money keeps talent. I like Rich Bender. I'm glad he makes good money because I want Rich Bender as a man leading USA Wrestling. But I would also like to see changes that help the athletes and the coaches. What else, bud? You want to you want to go over the ranking series?
Well, we kind of did last time. There wasn't too much to talk about. I mean, we kind of did the results where Luke and Trent both won gold. We kind of talked about it in the last show.
Yeah, oh yeah. David had a couple interesting matches. You ever watch those? Like, what I don't know why, but like, if I'm at Super 32 or I'm in Vegas or I'm at Fargo or I'm at NCAAs, I'm like, cool, let's watch wrestling. Cool, great match. Like, this is gonna be a good match. When I watch international, when I watch a USA guy versus or girl versus Azerbaijan, when I watch USA versus Japan, I am nervous wreck. Like, I'm not saying I was a nervous wreck watching David against Bayremov of Azerbaijan, but I was a little. I'm way more invested in an international match. I'm way more invested. Like if somebody from Penn State and Iowa wrestle, somebody from Oklahoma State and Nebraska wrestle, I want to see a good match. I really don't care who wins. I got no skin in the game. When when David Carr wrestles Azerbaijan, I'm really pulling hard, and so that first match with David, like David gets to a leg, doesn't finish. David gets to a leg and gets to the edge, and the guy like circles at the last minute, and David steps out, and then David's in on a shot, but the guy counters it. And I'm like, this is one of those matches, man. This is one of those matches where the USA guy does all the work and loses and gets screwed. And that was the first match. He was down 3-0. I go, here we go. This is one of those weird freaking freestyle matches. But David did a good job of coming back.
He did. By the way, one thing I didn't mention because I don't think it happened when we did our last show was Helen Maroulis winning gold. I mean, it is remarkable that she just continues to show people that she's still here and she still got it. Crazy how dominant she is still.
I know.
And she's not that old. Like, she's 33, which, is not the oldest. Like, if you're looking at Dake and Taylor and Burroughs, like, it's towards that. But when you look at how freaking long she's been doing it and been a mainstay, crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, is she the GOAT?
Yeah.
She's a GOAT, right?
Yeah.
She's a GOAT. Our girl got beat. Aubrey.
Yeah, I did not see that coming.
I didn't get to watch the match. But she's young.
I think she'll be fine. Yeah, she'll be fine. I think it's just learning curve to jumping to the senior level, and she'll be good.
Yeah. Info says, I wanted to ask if you were put in charge of reviving the UWW World Cup, what is your approach? Why do you think it underperforms compared to other UWW events? Man, the World Cups that were in LA were awesome. At the old Coliseum, I think that's where it was. Jason, was that where it was for like 3-4 years? They were awesome. I like largely. LA has a very big Iranian population. and they showed out. It was really fun. Um, and especially what made those World Cups so great was the lineups were awesome. Like they had all their ones almost, except for that one year where Tervel was hurt. Everybody's ones were there. So it was a true like dual championship. It was awesome. The forum, that's right. Here's the problem with it, and in turn goes back to what I was saying about UWW, or the lack thereof of UWW having a revenue stream and making money. They don't have the money to hold it, or they didn't then. I don't know if you guys know this, but they were in LA almost exclusively because Andy Barth funded the whole thing. Titan Mercury like foot the bill for like almost the whole thing. And so the only reason it existed was because of this giant donation. And then it went to Coralville, and that was largely because they had built a new arena and they really wanted to put it to use, and it's a wrestling town. And what's his name, Jason? Eustace was like Eustace went there and was in charge of getting events there, and so they put a really good package together for UWW, and they brought it there. So there's two problems: funding, number one, and number two, the countries don't want to go. The countries don't want to go. India don't want to go. So much so that the last few years of the World Cup, they literally had to put it in the rules. UWW put it in the rules. If you do not come, if you are top 8 in the world and are invited to the World Cup and do not come, you can't wrestle at the World Championships. They had to put it in the rules. And then everybody said, dude, you're nuts. You're not. We ain't coming back. We ain't doing it. So, yeah, the world, the top nations in the world, enough of the top nations in the world didn't want to participate. So, I would like to see it back, but that's a thing. That's a very tangible. This show got kind of curveball into wrestling, world wrestling economics. But there you go. That's a perfect example of, if the money isn't there, the events go away. If you don't pay to watch the World Championships on UWW Plus, if you don't pay to watch the World Championships on Flow Wrestling, if you don't pay to watch Fargo on Flow Wrestling, there will be less wrestling. So support the places that stream. Flow Wrestling doesn't offer USA Wrestling $1 million for the rights to their streaming if people aren't buying subscriptions to Flow Wrestling to watch USA Wrestling events on Flow Sports. Flow Wrestling isn't offering UWW X amount of dollars if nobody's signing up to watch the World Championships on Flow Sports. Same thing with RAF, right? I mean, that's a little bit different, but if you want more wrestling, support more wrestling.
Yeah, 100%.
What else, Justin Basch?
Not a heck of a lot going on right now. Nate Engel stepped down from Oregon State. He hasn't announced where he's going, but that's a done deal. That should be announced soon. Bill's training camp starts today. I gotta get over there at some point. It's officially football's back. Football is back.
Keith Gossard I think he's joking, but it's true. Keith Gossard says support Rockfin. Obviously I have stake in the game because that's where I post my content. But don't take my word for it. I mean, what PA Power and IA Wrestle have done for their state organizations is incredible. There's a guy, New Jersey Full Circle Wrestling, just about as damn near comprehensive as you can possibly get. And supporting them gets you more content. You don't pay a nickel for it. You don't stop in and read it. Do they keep doing what they're doing? So the more wrestling you support, the more wrestling you get.
Put that on a graphic.
What are you smoking this weekend? We didn't do Gable game today.
Oh, we didn't. How did that happen? Should we do it right now?
Let's do it. Let's end the show today.
All right, let's end. You know what? Maybe we'll end every show with Gable game.
No, it serves a purpose.
I know.
Gable game to start serves a purpose because it lets us goof around until the whole audience is in and they don't miss anything crucial. They just miss us doing stupid shit.
All right, Gable game.
All right, you pick. I want to try it. Maybe I'll be better now that my brain is in full wrestling mode. Because sometimes I stink in the beginning because. Go ahead, hit me with something.
All right, Tyler Kasich.
157.
All around the board. So it's not a sophomore, so it's got to be a freshman outside of the Big Ten. Lower win percentage than 90%. Lower NCAA finish than third. Higher weight class than 157.
Weight class.
So let's go with a 184-pound freshman.
Gabe Arnold.
Out of the Big Ten.
A 184-pound freshman, not in the Big Ten. I was going to say Hippolito, but that's 57.
84
freshman.
Freshman 84-pounder.
A freshman 84-pounder that made NCAAs this year.
We don't know that.
Freshman.
Oh, well, yeah. I guess we do, kind of.
How do we know what?
They made NCAAs, but this is all based on NCAAs. So, all right, 184-pound freshman, go.
184-pound freshman that made NCAAs. I don't know. I have no idea.
We're the PEBs.
All right, let me just look at qualifiers.
Just look at 184. Give me a freshman. I'm sticking to this criteria, and I'm drawing a blank for an 84-pound freshman, so I'm relying on you.
It doesn't necessarily have to be an 84 either.
I just want to split the difference of 57.
Yeah. Hey, give me Tucker Hogan.
Yes, freshman. Yes, didn't place. Higher than 97. So it's got to be a 285 freshman. 285 freshman who did not place.
285 freshman qualifier. 285 freshman qualifier. This is going to be Ashton Davis. What conference?
Not him. Not MAC, not Ivy, not Big Ten.
Not MAC, not Ivy.
Also, Ashton Davis was a sophomore.
Nolan Neves. Nolan Neves might have been a sophomore.
No, sophomore.
Jimmy Mullen.
Let's try Mullen. No. Not the ACC, not Ivy, not MAC, not Big Ten. Higher than a 55% win percentage, lower than 70.
Stephen Moncherry. It's him.
It's him. Rapid fire Gable game.
Out of the pigtail. Is that the first Gable game we did where it's a pigtail?
Could be.
It was
Very well
hard, but
could be.
it was hard because he's not a name that you think of. But it was kind of easy when
Jason Bryan's such a purist. He says he has to log off. No spoilers. He hasn't done it yet.
It was kind of easy when freshman heavyweight. How many freshmen?
Well, that's why I go 57, and then I split the difference, and then you get to the weight pretty quickly.
Listen, that's what made it easy was that it was a freshman heavyweight. Stephen Moncherry. Who else? Keeter was technically a freshman. Herrera was a freshman. Mullen was a freshman. And that's it. They were freshmen. Yeah, 4 freshman NCAA qualifiers at heavyweight. All right, what are you smoking? What are you smoking? We know what Keith is smoking. Kush.
That's a good question. I got to figure that out.
I ain't smoking nothing. I gotta go.
It's still early in the week, but today is my dog Cookie's birthday, so I gotta maybe cook her a steak tonight. Cookie's like 14, 15 now. I can't believe
Cookie's
it.
getting a steak?
Yeah, she'll get a steak tonight.
I gotta get these rankings done. But I will have Cadet quasi World Championship preview up. It's just gonna be everybody in the field with their credentials. Couple United States kids on Team Puerto Rico, so watch for that too. All right, boys. Remember,
we're officially into football season. Go Bills.